Good morning and welcome to the vlog. The end of the Ashby Canal is about 7 or 8 miles in that direction, and it is the end. It doesn't join up, it just comes to an abrupt halt with a winding hole. In fact, 2 winding holes. The first one I think is full size. The one right at the end can only turn 50-foot boats. Well, mine's 56. So I shall have to turn at the first of the 2. And the plan for today, beautiful sunny day, is just to do that cruise. Should take 2.5, 3 hours, I suppose. Get to the end, turn round, and then moor up at the first suitable space.
Setting off then, you go under the bridge that takes you to the village. 0.9 miles according to Google, and there's a tiny but excellent co-op. Just after, there's a marina which has a massive winding hole at its entrance, so there's no problem turning in, out or around here. Look at all that lovely space for turning. Of course, it wouldn't be long before my nemesis, a swan, swam in the way ahead of me. They're so haughty, pretending not to give a damn, but move slowly out of the way as if to claim they were always going in that direction anyway. It's slightly odd here. The first 2 moorings after the marina are owned by it, and they'll charge you to stop overnight, even though it's on the towpath. Moored just beyond that sign though, and it's all normal free 14-day spots, which I took advantage of on the way back, as you'll see in a later vlog. It's a nice spot too. From here on to the end of the Ashby, it's all pretty much just countryside and not a lot to talk about. But it was the most beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful bit of canal I have ever cruised, and the sunshine helped, of course. So for the moment, just sit back and relax. I'll pick up the commentary again in a bit. The Ashby has no locks, so that means the canal is entirely on one level, and to build it like that means it follows the contours of the land. It was cheaper to make the early canals like that than to construct locks and aqueducts and tunnels and so on. The upshot is it can be very twisty, and there are some tight corners which often have bridges on them, seemingly just to make things more awkward. Get a feed from your bow cam to the back, people tell me, but that would mean wiring and a waterproof screen, and it's really not necessary. You just take the corners slowly and toot the horn on the really bad ones. Just after this you come to a bit where you'll see what I mean about it being twisty. I have speeded this up by 30 times, else we'll be here all day, but it felt like the canal equivalent of a Grand Prix racing circuit. Approaching Snarestone, there's a long stretch of nice quiet mooring, which I used on the return trip. It's a bit narrow here, but very peaceful. Round Battlefield Corner, over a short aqueduct, and a sweeping tight right turn under a bridge at Snarestone, so tight and blind that this one did indeed need a quick toot. No one coming though, and some interesting moorings on the other side. Standard towpath stuff on the right, private moorings I believe on the left. And look, you share the mooring with sheep. They can come right up to the boats. It's a nice spot, but I bet you tread in a lot of sheep poo. Ah, new recruits to the Mounties. And out the other side of the village to more utterly blissful cruising. There are a lot of these benches on the Ashby with dedication plaques, presumably to the people who paid for them or donated to the canal, I suppose. This is an odd little offside mooring here, next to a car park in the middle of nowhere. The bridge has clearly seen better days. A lot of these canal bridges seem to get whacked by cars or lorries. There's an awful lot with chunks taken out of the parapet. Those road vehicles need to take a leaf out of the canal boats and slow down a bit.
After a little over 2 hours of cruising, I'm very near Snarestone, where there is a tunnel which is one way, a very short tunnel. And then just beyond that is the end of the Ashby Canal, where I shall use the facilities point and turn round.
If anyone ever says England has been totally built over, think again. Just peeping through that willow, you can see a house. What a wonderful spot to live, up the quiet end of the Ashby, on the corner, looking at the boats go by from that conservatory. Lovely. Here's the remains of an old railway bridge. 100 years after the apocalypse comes, the whole country's going to look like this. And now approaching Snarestone Tunnel, there in the middle of the picture. It looks like a normal two-way tunnel, but beware, it gets lower towards the north end, so you have to stay in the middle, which means it is only one way, and it's S-shaped, so the only way to see if someone's coming from the other side is to get quite far over to the right to see the other end before you go in. For me, it was clear. Not as low as Hare Castle, admittedly, but you do need to duck a little. And it's only 250 yards long, so you're soon back into the sunshine. There's the first and bigger of the two winding holes. I was going to turn, but as that boat was there, and there's a lovely handy mooring spot on the left, I took that instead. You get 48 hours here, but that was going to be plenty. Here's that winding hole a bit closer up. There is another further on, but it can only take boats up to 50 feet or so. And if you go on through that swing bridge, there's some more visitor moorings too. Plus, very helpfully, facilities including LSAN and water points. There's the water. I refilled some bowls that had been left out for passing dogs but had gone a bit green and horrid. The waste disposal is that orange skip on the other side. These are restored beams from the old pumping station next to the canal, which is now a private house. Apparently it didn't pump water to the canal, but to the town of Hinckley. The Ashby Canal Society, which is in charge of this bit of the canal, has put these picnic tables and barbecues here, which is nice. Here's the Society's fundraising shop. They're restoring the last 8 miles of the canal from its current end here up to its original terminus at Moira. They were infilled due to mining subsidence. You can buy books, puzzles and all kinds of knickknacks here to help support the appeal. The canal section at Moira is already rewatered, it's just not connected all the way back to Snarestone. If you walk up about half a mile from the moorings, you get to the current end beyond that bridge. There's the smaller winding hole, some ducks, and evidence of the old route. I've put a link to the Ashby Canal Society in the video description below. That's it for this one. Cheerio.